Alright, let's look at this series of numbers here. The order of operations tells us that when we add and subtract numbers, we do them both at the same time from left to right. So we take 4 minus 3, that's 1, add 6, you get 7, and then subtract 5, and you get 2. So our answer should be 2. But since we know that subtraction is really the same as addition, can we just use the associative property of addition and apply it to subtraction here and say, oh, I don't know, we want to take 6 minus 4 plus 5 minus 3. Well, let's see how that works out. 6 minus 4 is going to be 2, plus 5 is 7, minus 3 is 4. So why didn't that work? We rearranged all of the numbers, but we have exactly the same numbers. We still have subtraction twice and addition once. Why doesn't that work? Well, it doesn't work because subtraction is the same as addition, but with one little caveat. We're adding a negative number. So here's what we actually have to do if we want to think of subtraction as addition. We need to say this equation up here can be rewritten as 4 plus negative 3 plus 6 plus negative 5. Once we've rewritten it so that all of these signs are addition, and then we're just adding negative numbers some of the time, then we can use the associative property and move it around all we want. So here's what it would look like. 6 plus 4 plus negative 5 plus negative 3. So we moved all of the numbers around just like we did right here. We've got a 6, then a 4, then a 5, then a 3. But this time the numbers kept their signs with them when they moved. See, in this original equation we had a negative 3 and it kept its sign over here. And we had a negative 5 and it kept its sign. It was still negative. When we did it the wrong way, this way didn't work because we moved the 3 and that 3 happened to keep its sign, but when we moved the 5 didn't keep its sign. Suddenly it was plus, and then the negative got transferred to the 4 over there. So when you move numbers around, it's very important that they keep their sign, because really subtraction is just adding a negative number. Alright, multiplication and division work out very similarly to addition and subtraction, because just like addition and subtraction are inverses of each other, multiplication and division are inverses, right? So let's try to see if we can apply the same principles here. Let's take 5 divided by 2 divided by 3 times 24. Well, first of all, what result is this going to give us? 5 divided by 2 is going to be 5 over 2. Divide that by 3 and you get 5 over 6. Multiply by 24 and you get 120 over 6, which is 20. So our final result should be 20. But let's see if there's an easier way to do this. Can we rearrange them to give us a different result? Well, just like we had to rewrite each of the numbers as negatives before we could rearrange them, and then write it as the sum of negatives when we were working with the associative property of addition, we have to do something very similar here when working with the associative property of multiplication. We can take this 5, and it's going to be 5 divided by 2 is the same as 5 times, not negative 2, but 1 over 2, right? 5 divided by 2 and 5 times 1/2 are the same. Then we've got divided by 3, so we can rewrite that as times 1/3, and then just times 24. Now we can rearrange these and do it in any order we want. I would say the best way to do this is probably 24 times 1/2 times 1/3 times 5. That'll give us 24 times 1/2 is 12, right? Half of 24. And then we've got 1/3 of 12, and that's going to be 4, times 5 is 20. Alright, see how much easier that was? We could do it any other way too, right? We could do 1/2 times 1/3 times 24 times 5. That would be 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6, and then multiply that by 24, we get 1/6 of 24, which is 4, times 5 is 20. Or we could do 1/2 times 1/3 times 5 times 24, but we probably don't want to do that because then we've got, 1/2 times 1/3 times 5. We got to figure out what 1/6 of 5 is, and it's 5/6, so it's not too hard. 5/6 times 24 is going to be 20. So the result is still the same, but the helpful thing about this property is that it can help us rearrange things to give us the easiest way to do whatever work we have to do. So this is probably going to be the easiest way to do what we have to do.